Hello, welcome to the Public Good Radio Show recap. This is Teresa Watson from Partnership for the Public Good, speaking to Jalonda Hill, Open Buffalo's emerging leader, PPG's communications and outreach specialist, and the founder of Colored Girls Bike 2. Again, that's Jalonda Hill. She'll be discussing normalizing bike commuting as an alternative form of transportation for Black women in the city of Buffalo, and her group, Colored Girls Bike 2. So open up, maybe you can just tell us a little bit more about your group and why you founded it.
Yeah, so I started Colored Girls Bike 2 back in December of 2016 because I biked 8 months prior to starting the group and noticed there was a shortage in Black women who were using a bike to transport themselves around the city. And so there were times when I was biking where I felt that I needed some support and I needed to kind of be surrounded around other women who looked like me with similar experiences like me, and there was no group here in Buffalo, so I started Colored Girls Bike 2. And it's now a safe space for Black women to feel comfortable bike commuting in the city of Buffalo as an alternative form of transportation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. And so I was privileged enough to get to hear your whole kind of radio show interview, and there was a lot of stuff you said that really connected with me. So I also bike and I'm pretty femme all the time.
Yeah.
So
yes.
I was just thinking about my experience biking as a woman and how maybe when you talk to other bikers, how you feel like it's similar and how it's different for women of color.
Oh, okay. So just from a couple of conversations that I had, so the women that I've talked to, they naturally feel that some of the aggressive responses that they get from drivers is related not only to the fact that they're bike commuting using the roads in Buffalo, but also because of the way they look. So that's one thing just from encounters that I've had with women. And I can't necessarily tell you from talking to other people who aren't women of color or Black women offhand what differences there are. But there are a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Because personally I do feel there's differences. I do feel people treat me differently, but I'm not usually riding side by side with someone who's not a Black woman, so I can't necessarily gauge that. I can just tell you how I feel, and I do feel there's sometimes drivers being a lot more aggressive because of me being a Black woman, but also riding a bike, and just the encounters I have. And then so yeah, that's one thing, but there is a lot of similarities. People do some people just don't like the fact that people are riding bikes on the roads
in general.
Just in general though.
So that too. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes a ton of sense. I've had people come up to me and say, "Oh, I just had to come up and talk to you because I never see women biking. I'm so surprised." And I was like, you should look harder, because I think people are out there. So I think it's awesome that you have that group that has a supportive space specifically for women of color, especially.
Yeah.
And so I know that you do groups and that you are a group and that you do events. You have an event coming up, right?
Yeah. So I have an event coming up on November 3rd. This is a flyer, so if you see these around the city, this is what I'm promoting, the event that's happening on November 3rd. And essentially, where we will be riding to do yoga and meditation. So we'll be meeting at Grindhouse Cafe. And at Grindhouse Cafe, there will be hot cocoa and free hot cocoa and gloves for those who come, because it will be kind of chilly. And so we'll be riding to do yoga and meditation. And the idea behind that is to just kind of expose the women to an experience that they may have never thought to try had it not been for an event like this. You can ride in colder temperatures, it's possible. You just kind of need to be prepared, and I got y'all on hot cocoa and gloves, and obviously layer up. So yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much. And thank you all for watching the Public Good Radio Show recap. Again, this is Teresa Watson with Partnership for the Public Good, PPG, speaking with Jalonda Hill, Open Buffalo's emerging leader, PPG's communications and outreach specialist, and the founder of Colored Girls Bike 2.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.